Okay, welcome back to Sports Weekly MN. I'm Duff, and with me is my brother and co-host Joe. Joe, how you guys doing?
Oh, we're doing okay. Um, Another nice Wednesday evening. We've been snowshoeing at school the last 3 days and last week, so it's been fun. How
Oh, that's
about you
great.
guys, Duff?
Yeah, we're doing okay. We finally had some snow yesterday, which is basically the first snow of the winter for us here in
Oh
Toronto.
my.
And yeah, it's been pretty pathetic. And so yeah, the boys had quite a bit of fun. It was I think they said like 10 centimeters, so that's like 4 inches.
Oh, okay.
Which is not a lot, but I mean, we've had a few dustings and maybe like
An inch
one
or two.
1 inch. I don't think we've even had 2 inches
Oh
yet.
my.
So it's a pretty pathetic winter so far in terms of snow. So anyway, the boys had fun. We went to there's a parking lot nearby, and the boys climbed up the snow mountain and slid down the snow mountain for a long time this afternoon. It was great.
Good.
And yeah, otherwise, doing school at home, and because we're still on total lockdown, stay at home order here.
Sure.
There's no curfew, but they were thinking about doing a curfew. So it's yeah, nothing's open. I mean, you can go to the grocery store. That's it.
Takeout for restaurants, I'm assuming, is open.
Yes, that's right. Yep.
Is like well, in Minnesota we do this, but is like patios open
No,
for
'cause
restaurants?
it's the middle of winter.
Well, we still did it in Minnesota.
Oh, no.
What about like okay, let's say Starbucks. Can you go into Starbucks and order a coffee yet and bring it out, or do you
You
have to like
can.
use an
Yeah.
app or something?
No. You can actually go in to Starbucks and place your order and pay, get your beverage, and then you have to leave. Of course, you can't hang around.
Right.
But yeah,
Okay.
But they encourage use the app, order it, and then that way you just go in, pick it up, and get out of there. And because it's you're only in like the restaurant then for like I don't know what 20% of the time. So yeah.
So we have a Mexican restaurant in Buffalo that we sometimes get food from,
Sure.
and they'll bring it out to your car if you want.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so you have an option. You can go in and get it. They bring it out to your car. Of course, now dining is open back up, so you can go in and into the restaurant and dine if you wish.
Wait, you guys have restaurants that are open?
Yeah, 50%.
Oh,
Restaurants and bars are open 50%.
interesting. Okay. Okay. All right. I don't think we'll be doing that here for probably 6 more months.
And I think you might be officially be in a worse position in Minnesota right now, but I don't think it's much worse, is it?
What do you mean in terms of like
Cases and
cases?
Yeah, I think I don't know what I didn't look at numbers today,
It's about
but
the same.
Minnesota yesterday was like almost 7% positivity, which had been above, but their numbers and their cases or their testing cases were down. So
Yeah, I think when I looked a couple days ago, it's like 4% or maybe 5% positive cases.
Yeah, and Minnesota was hanging around that 3.5-4% mark until just yesterday. And like I said, I didn't look today. But
yeah. So, but we've come down a lot, just in
Good.
terms of overall volume of cases.
Shut down.
So
No, can't spread.
yeah, oddly, when you shut everything down and you make everybody stay in their houses, then nothing really spreads. So
Yeah.
and I've seen a ton of people now are wearing the better masks, so they're not just wearing a bandana, they're wearing like a KN95 or something like that.
Sure.
Because the word's getting out that like those are
helps.
substantially better. And I'm trying to figure out where they buy them, because I went to like Amazon and Walmart and all the kind of online places, and they're not even for sale. So I don't even know where these people are buying them.
Stop and ask somebody.
I think I will next time. Because yeah, I don't know. It was like crowded in the grocery store the last time I went, and I'm like, this is not good. So
Right. Well, yeah, I work with a bunch of kids. I just whatever. Anyway, should we
Oh
talk
boy.
some sports? We had a really, really exciting night last night. Twins land.
Wearing my Twins cap today. I realized I have a Twins cap and I have a wild toque.
Like a
What'd you call
winter
it?
cap.
Yeah. Here in Ontario we call it a toque, which is great to have a different name for like a winter hat. In any case, yeah, but I don't have anything Timberwolves and I don't have anything Vikings. So, anyway, yeah, Twins. What can I say? They signed a good free agent.
They signed our guy, Duff. This is who we wanted.
Yeah.
So let's kind of lay out what happened here yesterday. The Blue Jays made another big move and signed Marcus Semien to a 1-year, $18 million deal, which in turn, I think the Twins were in on Semien.
Yes.
But obviously they didn't want to go 18 million. And that was obviously the highest salary that there was out there. I'm guessing the Twins are 14, 15 million.
Yep.
Would be my guess. Maybe even less than that. And so what do you so like within a half an hour,
yeah, it was
all
right
of a
away.
sudden the Twins announced, or the Twins didn't officially announce anything yet, but the word broke that Simmons, and say his first name for me.
Andrelton.
Yeah, basically Simba is his nickname, so we're just gonna call him Simba.
Okay.
Simmons signed with the Twins, 1 year, $10.5 million. And what is so exciting to me, this was my guy.
Mm-hmm.
This is who I wanted for various reasons. This signing Simmons is basically the Ozzie Smith of this generation.
That's right.
He's a generational talent at defense. Plus, when you look at his offensive numbers over the last few years, they're not much lower than Jorge Polanco's. He's basically a league average hitter on offense, providing the best defense up the middle that you can get. Okay. Now,
his offense though is a little different than Polanco. Polanco
provides more pop,
more power.
He's going to hit more homers. He's going to hit more extra base hits. Simmons basically does not strike out, and he gets on base. And he puts the ball in play.
That's right.
So, and he's speedy. So he's going to beat out some of those hits. He's going to be able to stretch a single to a double once in a while.
Mm-hmm.
But Simmons provides something that this team was sorely lacking in Jorge Polanco. Polanco has always been a really good hitter. He's provided a pop. He's above average hitter, but he's super below average defense. And I think he was something like negative 34 runs saved over his Twins career.
It's pretty bad.
Simmons in that time is like 174 runs saved. So we're basically talking opposite ends of the spectrum here.
That's right.
In runs saved.
You go literally you go from the like bottom of the barrel in terms of defensive skills for a starting major league shortstop who's in that position because he's a good hitter. And then you go to the exact opposite end of the spectrum and literally the best defender. Defensive
you're talking
shortstop.
About somebody that's worse at defense than Jay Cave. Byron Buxton here. That's what you're talking about. Okay. Simmons is a stud. Now, let's not confuse his 26, 25, 27-year-old seasons with what he is now at 31.
That's right.
He's probably about 80 to 85% of the defender that he was then, which is still the best defensive shortstop in the game.
That's right. That's like saying Byron Buxton has lost a step. It's like,
he's
still probably the fastest guy in all of baseball. So yeah,
there you go. He's 8 to lose. So big deal.
And so this actually led to some juggling of the infield in a way that I didn't expect. So Polanco now is slated to be the starting second baseman, and Arise is slated to be the starting utility. Now I had another thought that I shared with you on text, but we can get to that later. I don't know.
Yeah, I want to talk a couple things first. First off, there's a difference between this front office and the last front office. First off, the last front office, Terry Ryan, would never have signed a guy like this.
That's right.
Let's say he did. He would never have communicated with Polanco about this beforehand.
Mm-hmm.
And this front office has been in constant contact with Jorge Polanco about this move and has told him basically that we're going to bring in a shortstop. It does not mean that you're not going to be a Minnesota Twin.
Mm-hmm.
It does not mean we're trading you. You're going to play second base for the Minnesota Twins this next season, barring injury.
Right.
And how do you argue with that? Jorge knows that he can't play defense like Simmons and never will be able to. How do you argue with that?
Right.
He's got a home now at second base, and Jorge Polanco has plenty of range. That's never been the problem.
He just can't throw. Polanco is his worst part of his defensive capabilities is his arm. I can't remember now. It's something like plus 2/3 of his errors are throwing errors or something.
Plus, he gets lackadaisical.
That's right. Yeah.
But he's going to have plenty of time at second base to make that throw now in that play. He's got a good enough arm. Mm-hmm. He's got plenty of strength for an arm. So basically, you upgraded your second base defense because Polanco is going to be a better defender than Rise at second base.
That's right.
Let's not confuse him with a good defender. Especially when he's obviously been battling knee injuries.
Mm-hmm.
But
I would say, though, he's
all
probably
know what Rise can do.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And we do not want to trade that man. Okay, I'm
just remembering that at bat from 2019 when he pinch hit with 2 strikes. And
here's what I think is going to occur here.
Okay,
I think Arise is actually going to be your starting left fielder for about 25 games.
Sure.
And I think so because they do not want to bring up Kuderov at this point. Now there is another option. They sign Kuderov to a long-term deal, and at that point, they're just going to bring him up.
Sure.
Okay.
So they're going to do the thing where they mess with the service time to get an extra year.
Yep. Kind of what they did with Polanco and Kepler to a point, but they would do it earlier.
That's right.
But I think if they don't do that, I think Arise is in left field for the most part for 25 games because the guy can flat out hit. He can play left field.
That's fine.
He gets Buxton in center.
Yep.
And, I made a joke about Jake Cave, but Jake Cave can play defense.
Yeah.
If Buxton's on center, Cave's in center. He's fine.
He's fine. Yep.
But I do think this was such an awesome move because look at your up the middle defense, and that is where you need to be really strong. Starting behind the plate, you have Garver, above average catcher, and you have why am I blanking?
Buxton?
No, other catcher, Jeffers.
Yep.
Even better defender than Garver.
Yep.
Then your up the middle defense is Simmons. You just added the best defensive shortstop in the game.
Yep.
And Polanco, who will be fine at second base.
As a former shortstop, he will be fine.
And then the best defensive center fielder that I've ever seen.
When he's
Byron
healthy
Buxton.
and on the field.
Well, exactly. Yep. But let's not confuse Byron Buxton. Byron Buxton can play defense with any center fielder that's ever played this game.
Yep.
Not hitting, defense. And if you are Randy Dominic, how do you not love this move?
Yeah.
Dominic, what does he do? Entices ground balls. And that brings
me
to my next point that I want the Twins to sign. Tanaka. Say it with me.
Tanaka, yeah, good starting pitcher.
He is a ground ball pitcher.
Mm-hmm.
He throws that cutter, and it goes boom, sinker, and it goes boom, and defense and offense players hit it on the ground, hit it on the ground, just like Dominic. Now let's not confuse the two. Tanaka is a much better pitcher than Dominic. But if you sign Dominic, look at this team.
You mean Tanaka? Yeah.
Play. Excuse me. Yeah, Tanaka. Let's play. All right. You got Donaldson at third now. Injuries are going to happen. We know this. Donaldson at third, Simmons at second. You don't have a team that has better defense on the left side of your infield.
That's right.
In the major leagues.
Yeah. Yep.
Can you see how happy and excited I am for the Twins? This is great. I think this adds at least 3 games to the Twins record.
Okay.
This one signing, I think that's at least 3 wins for the Twins over what we were thinking before. I think this move will bring you more value than most players they could have signed.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, if they sign Bauer, I think that's probably higher. I think if they sign Tanaka, it's pretty close. I think if they sign Ozuna, That's probably higher yet too.
Mm-hmm.
But let's play. You need to have defense, and you Twins have plenty of hitting, and Simmons is fine hitter.
That's right.
So
I tend to agree. I don't know that I still don't expect them to win a playoff game.
They do need a bona fide ace, right? I mean, Maeda, if he can do it, then he's an ace. But if he can repeat it, then he's an ace, because he was an ace last year.
That's right. Yep.
But that's a short season.
And the starting pitching is not what let down this team in the playoffs. It was defense, coaching, and hitting. Those are the three things that let this team down.
Yeah.
It was bad coaching decision, although I think that was intentional. It was bad defense, literally by Jorge Polanco. The hitting, hitters forgot to bring their bats to the field for some reason.
This team has plenty of hitting.
So yeah, I think I love this signing. I feel like with one signing, they upgraded like 3 positions because now you can shuffle things around and do an upgrade here and an upgrade there. And so, I think this is great. The one sort of other idea that I had, this was just kind of thinking outside the box, is what if they don't bring back Cruz? Well, for whatever reason, I don't know, the things just don't work out, or let's say they do bring him back, but he performs as one would expect a 41-year-old hitter to perform, which is not well. In that case, my idea was now they have the option of letting Arise be the DH, which is not so great for him in terms of his impact and his ability to play a premium position. Like DH is not a premium position, but certainly it would be fine for the team because they get his bat in the lineup every single day. And, so that would just be another option that I feel like they would have if they wanted, if it doesn't work out with Cruz or any other DH or whatever. So, and we do know, and you can see it here that their salary, they think is around 110 million or so, and the projected salary that we've heard about is maybe on the order of 125. So they have something like 10 to 15, maybe 20 million if they're really going to go all in.
That gives you a good picture.
But I mean, imagine they signed Cruz, that's like most of it. They wouldn't be able to sign another pitcher, right? Because I think Cruz they're thinking like, so that could be, I mean, honestly, that could be it. If they're like, if it's a hard stop at 125 and they're at around 112, then that's the last thing they could do pretty much.
Well, they're going to trade for somebody then.
Oh, that could be. Yeah.
So here's a couple of things. Going back to your DH idea, Arise will spend some time at the DH this year. But if there's a left-handed pitcher, Garver is your DH. If you don't have like a Cruz. Okay. Obviously, if Cruz, he's going to face every left-hander. But if not, then you're going to have Garver as your left-handed DH. Because Jeffers is also right-handed, and Jeffers will probably catch. And then either or one or the other, doesn't really matter. Garver and Jeffers will probably be in the lineup if you don't have Cruz as your DH. Because Garver destroys left-handed pitching. He just destroys it. Not so much last year, but he was also hurt last year. And I think Garver is also a trade candidate. I think they saw enough from Jeffers to say, "Yep, you could play ball."
Yeah, he looked well. He looked great.
And then, I think Donaldson will see some time at DH.
Sure.
And I think,
just on rest days, you mean?
Yeah, Keeleroff or Larnack, Rooker. There is a chance they bring up Rooker and say, "Here's your DH," and there's $600,000 stuff, and they sign a good pitcher. It's a chance.
Yeah.
I think Cruz is their first option. I don't think they're in on Ozuna. I think they've contacted Ozuna for numbers.
Yeah.
And really, if you're gonna, I would be all for signing Ozuna.
Sure. But that's going to take a long-term deal. Like
But
he
I'd
wants
rather
like 3 or 4 years, right?
Yeah, I think 4 years, about 70 mil, 65, 70 mil.
Ooh. I'd rather have
That'd be
a
fine because
good pitcher.
I don't mind Pohlad spending some money.
Yeah.
Because let's not forget, the Pohlads didn't really not make 300,000. They didn't lose 300,000. They just didn't make it. They made 700, or excuse me, 700 million, not three.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's right. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
They didn't really lose 300 million. They just didn't make it. They didn't lose money.
That's right. Yep.
All prorated anyway, contracts.
Yes. Yep.
And they did not make as much money because there's no people in the stands. There's no people buying hot dogs and stuff. I don't
That's
know
right.
how much money they get from the hot dogs, but I would imagine at least 50%.
Yeah. So look, it's exciting. It's a big development for the Twins. It's really exciting. And
This is firmly a playoff team unless you get injury destroyed.
Actually,
I don't know.
Speaking above the playoffs.
At this point, I don't think you beat the White Sox for the division. If you get another good pitcher, maybe you beat the White Sox. So.
Speaking of playoff teams, we're led to believe by Michael Rand from the Star Tribune that Jay Happ is going to finally help us break the playoff drought here. I'm not so sure about that. I don't know how many fourth starters helped their team win a playoff game, but
I got no problem with Jay Happ signing, like we said last week. This is fine, but
I just think it's a ridiculous title.
Yeah, well, it's a bait clicker.
Yeah,
but he's not obviously not going to be as valuable as a Tanaka or a Bauer or anybody like that. So
yep.
I
just wanted to get this headline on the record so that when they fail again to win a playoff game, we can tell Michael Rand that, no, I'm sorry. Signing a good fourth starter didn't really do it
right.
For winning that one playoff game that hasn't happened in 17 years.
I think Bauer ends up with the Blue Jays or he ends up with the Angels.
Blue Jays would be exciting.
It's kind of going to be exciting for a Blue Jays, man. You know, you're a Toronto, you're a Toronto resident. You got to kind of be excited about their club. George Springer, Marcus Semien, all that stud young talent you have. I mean, let's go. They signed Kirby Yates for the bullpen.
Yes.
I mean,
a lot of people thought the Twins were going to sign, by the way.
Mm-hmm. I still think the Twins could sign Rosenthal. And if they do, man, that would be my top two, other than Bauer, of course, I think is a pipe dream.
Yeah. They're not going to sign Bauer, unfortunately. But look, they need another reliever, in my opinion.
And I think they want a right-handed.
Yep. They could use another starter like veteran. Tanaka.
Mm-hmm.
I have my hunch is they're gonna sign a reliever, and then they're either going to sign like a big DH like Cruz or Ozuna, or they're gonna sign a top starting pitcher, one of the few that's left, like Tanaka,
or trade. I could see them making a trade there.
That's right. Yep.
Because I think that only really Tanaka or Bauer really moves the needle at this point in the free agent.
That's right. Yep.
Pitchers.
Yep. Unless they're just trying to sign depth.
And you could, there's tons of starters you could trade for that can move the needle. Honestly, I go to the Cubs and see what they want for Kendricks.
Yep.
Personally. Why not?
Mm-hmm. I don't really see any other positions where they would really make a move. Unless it's part of some trade package for a real top flight ace.
It wouldn't shock me in a trade for a stud pitcher that they would trade Arise.
Yes. That would make me cry, but
it would make me cry too. Because I really like Arise. He doesn't bring much defensive value, but his offensive game is just so much fun. The guy on one knee hit 330 last year.
Yeah. I mean, I think
so much
back
fun
to that at bat when he came in. It was no balls, 2 strikes, and somebody had to go out, and so they brought Arise in as a pinch hitter, and he drew a walk, like
cold off the bench.
Like yeah, exactly. Just like this is no big deal. With the head shake
on the close pitch. I love it. I think they love him too. So, and he seems like a really good team guy, but
Yep.
his trade value is really high.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Every team would want to rise on their team.
Yep.
And I love that he
And-
came from nothing. Like I never even heard of him until they brought him up.
Right. Here's this guy. What? Oh,
He was like
great.
20th on the prospect list. Like,
Yeah.
how did they miss that?
Maybe he was like a sleeper candidate. Oh, God.
So I think the Twins are smart by signing Simmons for 1 year. I do think that this is a total Royce Lewis move for the future. I think that Royce Lewis will probably be up by the end of the year as long as the guy stays healthy and can hit, right? Because he's a hitting star and he can certainly stand to play shortstop. So, and if they really like Simmons, why can't they just sign him again? Offer him a long-term deal. It's also possible they trade Royce Lewis for a starter.
That's true. That would be a little dangerous if you only have Simmons on a 1-year deal.
But he brings really good value.
Yep.
But Simeon only signed a 1-year deal too. So there's 2 options already in free agency for next year, unless they sign him long-term, which is always a possibility, but a pretty low one at this point.
Yeah, if they were going to sign him long-term, they would have done it.
Mm-hmm.
Or they would have attached.
Well, no, not necessarily. They might. You can always bring up that topic in June and July.
Yeah, it's true. Less likely, but
it is less
and,
likely.
The other thing is there's no contract beyond this season. So next year, nobody has any idea what's going to happen. If there's even going to be baseball.
Speaking of contracts, next year, the Pirates have 2022. That's next year, right? Pirates have $3 million on the books, and it's a buyout. It's a buyout.
Oh boy, the rest are rookie deals and
or free agents.
They'll be free agents, yeah.
Well, I suppose
there's got to be arbitration guys.
No, Duff. I bet there's probably plenty of those guys under team control.
Yeah.
But other than that,
that's hilarious.
It's like $3 million and it's a buyout. All they have is team control guys. Other than that,
that's totally nuts.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's just
the
wealth
Pirates,
gap.
Everyone, raid the Pirates.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think it's clear that we're expecting great things out of the Mets. We're expecting great things out of the Padres. We're expecting great things out of the other perennial teams like the Dodgers and the Yankees.
Mm-hmm.
I would say the White Sox are also going to be contender, even win the division this year.
Absolutely.
And those are the teams that are really like going for it.
I think the Centrals in both leagues are below the East and the West in both leagues, though, in talent. The White Sox and Twins, they stack up kind of well against the A's and the Angels, but they don't stack up well against the East.
That's right.
The Yankees and the Rays, Blue Jays.
Yep.
Those 3 teams are above the Twins. They're probably above the White Sox. Probably. And they're above the West. And then in the National League, the Dodgers and the Padres, man.
Yeah.
And then you got the Braves and the Mets. Those 4 teams are above anything that NL Central can throw at you.
I don't even know what the Nationals have done this year, but
even the Phillies are pretty good. Marlins aren't going to be a terrible team.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's going to be an exciting season of baseball, that's for sure.
I'm excited. I got a personal day coming up that I'm going to use on the opener and just sit back and watch some baseball today. I've been wanting to do that for many years.
Nice.
And we were able to carry over a couple personal days last year because of the pandemic. So I got 4 to use.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
That's great.
I love it.
So, so baseball, it's coming up here. What are we, like 2 weeks until pitchers and catchers? Something like that?
Yeah, I would think... Yeah, I don't know. They've said that plan on reporting. What that entails, I don't know if they have to go, if they're kind of like locked down after they report. Nobody really knows yet.
Let's see here. I'm seeing February 16th as the day.
I would assume there's going to be even more testing now.
Yeah.
And then, they have to build in some days here. Because there's going to be games that aren't played because there'll be an outbreak. It's just gonna be.
Yeah. You probably.
It's reality until everyone can get their vaccine.
Yeah. So like from what I just looked up, it says not all the teams have announced, but the teams that have announced are all around February 16th or February 17th. So we're a little over 2 weeks away until pitchers and catchers are probably going to be reporting.
It's exciting time of year.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been a long drought without much baseball news, so it's fun to talk about again.
Things are going to hop here. Even tonight, we saw DJ LeMahieu sign with the Yankees, 6 years, $90 million. Yep. Seems like a steal for the Yankees. Man, that guy, of course, when you play in Colorado and you play in Yankee Stadium, your numbers are a little bit inflated. But even the road numbers are good. DJ LeMahieu is a very good hitter and a solid defender. And then Jurickson Profar signed with the Padres, 3 years, $21 million. So $7 million a year.
I did
average.
Not see that.
3 years, $21 million.
Crazy.
So Padres added another one, and that would probably be your super utility guy. So,
Yep.
Solid moves, both good clubs, solid moves. When you're good clubs, you get good players because they want to come play.
Yep, that's right. Good. Anything else baseball you want to talk?
I don't think so.
As we can zip over here and take a look at our exciting basketball team in the NBA, Minnesota Timberwolves. Look, things aren't going well. They're, I think, 4-12.
It's really bad, Duff. I heard that even if the Timberwolves end up with one of the 3 worst records, there's only a 40% chance they hold on to their pick.
How's that?
60% chance that it's worse than number 3, and if it's not top 3 protected, it goes to the Warriors because of the draft lottery.
Oh, right. Wow, that's really bad. So it's like a tanking of a season without the benefit, probably, of getting a good pick. Boy. Wow.
I also think that our coach,
Ryan Saunders,
might be on his last legs here.
You really think so? They were not going to stick with him?
I don't think so.
Wow. What did I want to look up? I want to look up standings here.
He was signed before Garrison Rojas came in. So
okay. Yeah. So look, the Lakers are great at 14-4.
Never would imagine.
Then you go all the way down to the bottom of the list, and there are the Wolves at 4-12. And
right along with Detroit and Washington. Imagine that.
Yep. Now Washington has played fewer games, right? Only 13 games rather than 16. So there's a good chance that like the Wolves and the Pistons will be fighting it out for the worst record in
the Pistons are considered to have like the worst team. So
yeah.
I mean, the Timberwolves still have Karl Anthony Towns.
Yes.
Now he's been out because he's had COVID, but Cat's a top 15 player in the game.
Yep. That tells you something. And look at this point differential, basically -10, which if you sort,
I don't have much positives to say.
That's really bad.
We've talked about how the Timberwolves don't have a 2-way player.
Yep.
They
have Ricky Rubio who can't shoot. I don't know if you saw any of the highlights from the game the other day, but it was like in the first quarter. And who are they playing? But they were just like saying, "Here, take a shot," and he couldn't make anything. He just missed every single shot. It's like, why is this guy on the floor? Like, man, like I'm fully equipped to enter an NBA game and miss a bunch of shots. Like,
Rubio does everything else well. He makes his teammates better. He plays good defense, but yeah, he can't shoot.
Well, the object of basketball is to put the ball in the bucket. So, like, I don't know.
Luka Doncic, he's got it down.
Boy. So yeah.
Blow it up, restart.
Sell
the team. I honestly don't think the Timberwolves are going to be any good until Taylor sells the team.
You think Glenn Taylor's got to sell, huh?
Yeah.
Why is that? Like the owner
doesn't put the great people in charge.
Effect. You mean like in terms of picking a good GM or a head of basketball operations or whatever it's called in
Yeah.
basketball. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think Rojas, it's still give him a chance, but none of his moves have worked.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now,
And part of that's like not
he
his
hasn't
fault.
had
Like
he hasn't had good choices. I mean,
that's right. When you look at the draft opportunities that he's had, it's there hasn't been a Shaquille O'Neal opportunity.
You don't have to sign Beasley to a 4-year, $60 million deal.
Yeah,
no one was forcing you to do that. Now Beasley can flat out play offense, but he has no idea that defense exists.
That's right.
You didn't have to do it.
Yep. So, look, it hasn't been a lot of fun to like watch games, and I've popped in and watched a couple of games here and there, parts of games. They're like a lot of these are really late. So, especially for me, since I'm on East Coast time, like today, it starts at 10, against the Warriors. So, anyway, there's not a lot to say about the Wolves other than they stink yet again.
Yeah, I don't even want to talk about them.
It's tough to watch. I mean, you can't even watch it. By the way, did you see that
Valley Sports?
did you see that Sinclair Media released some statement like how they're not going to give in to the demands of streaming services like YouTube? Oh, okay, yeah, that's how it goes. And the bad news is the Twins, I think, TV contract comes up in like 1 or 2 more years, so probably going to lose the ability to watch the Twins too.
Well, if they're not going to be on FSN, I won't be able to watch them.
Yeah,
I'd be so mad. They'd be
the crazy thing is
mad.
The Twins
I don't even want to talk about it right now.
The crazy thing is the Twins are like part owners of FSN. Like they partially own the networks. Like, how is this even possible? I don't know. So many middlemen in the media market. It's like no wonder people use Google to find streams that don't require payment. Yeah, man, terrible.
So,
but look,
should we talk Super Bowl a little bit?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so we have 2 teams, the Bucks against the Chiefs. It was unfortunate that a team had to win in the NFC. So we're against the Packers, who obviously is big Vikings fans. We don't want to talk about the Packers.
Yep.
And so I'm glad Aaron Rodgers, we don't have to hear about him for 2 weeks. Unfortunately, now we have to hear about Tom Brady for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So I did not see a whole lot of cheating by the refs for the Bucks.
Okay.
A ton of it in the regular season.
Yes,
ridiculous,
because you got to get them to the playoffs.
But more for the Packers in the playoffs than the Bucks, from what I've seen.
Okay.
So I thought it was a pretty evenly called, pathetic game on Sunday. Obviously, for some reason, they decided not to call anything in the secondary until the final play. It's just so bizarre to me. Now, nobody can argue that it was not a pass interference call because it clearly was pass interference, but compared to what had happened the entire game, they decided to call it on that play. So that's really bizarre. Yep. And then on the NFC side, we have the Chiefs, who you could argue shouldn't have been even in the game that they played against the Bills.
That's right, because they were gifted an extra.
Yes.
Yep.
They were gifted the turnover that should have been a touchdown for the other team. But I was cheering for the Bills personally, just because I thought it was a good story, and I really like the Bills up and coming team, Josh Allen,
and Diggs is there, like
prima donna, kind of in my mind,
maybe
throwing a fit, and he's super good player. He's
an exciting player, and it's like
and I love it. I mean, he brought us the Minneapolis Miracle, so
that's right. Yeah.
He'll always have a place in our heart, but yeah. I mean, Jefferson I'm happy. Yeah. Happy. Anyway.
But the Bills, they're a tortured franchise too. So
yeah, for sure. And I'm super excited about their future. They got a good quarterback and really good offensive players and pretty solid defense. So anyway, Chiefs came out on top on this one. I think Chiefs are definitely the better team. They're better than the Bucks. I think in most phases of the game, Bucks probably have better defense, but I do look for the Chiefs to probably win this game, but for the first time ever, the Bucs are basically hosting the Super Bowl because it is in their home stadium. So, and Tom Brady.
I wonder who the refs will be helping during the Super Bowl.
There is a female ref though in the Super Bowl, Duff, for the first time ever.
Okay.
So that's exciting news for the all-inclusive club, and I think it's good. She's I wish I had brought her name to the podcast, but it seems like she's a good ref. So maybe that's an oxymoron, good ref, but someone's got to do the job, and obviously mistakes are going to be made. But so that's looking forward to not watching the game / watching the game and having it on, and hopefully the Chiefs win. But
yep.
I still want to see Tom Brady win another one.
I heard one thing about the Super Bowl that they're going to have like 20,000 fans or something, and they're all going to be vaccinated healthcare workers who get free tickets or something.
I think 7,500 will be vaccinated healthcare workers who are given free tickets. So that's really cool. I know they added Miley Cyrus to the pregame concert, we'll call it.
Okay.
I don't know the sponsor for that concert, so I can't per se who that is, but we'll call it the pregame concert. And all of the vaccinated healthcare workers get to go to that concert for free too. So,
fun.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. You're in Tampa, make a day out of it, tailgate. If you put all those vaccinated people together, nobody's going to get sick.
Right.
Yep. In theory, anyway. So,
it'll be a good test of the vaccine. We'll call it that.
There you go.
Yep.
Maybe it spreads a little bit, but for the most part, it's pretty effective. So,
yep.
It's exciting. I think it's an awesome move. I'm excited for them. They deserve it. And if you want to turn around and sell that ticket,
I don't know that they can.
I don't know if they can.
They probably can't.
I don't think I would if I was given a ticket. I'd be like, "Whoa, this is my one chance to go to the Super Bowl. I think I'm going to
go." Okay. So on the topic of the NFL, I thought we'd go back and look at back on September 9th. We made some predictions.
Yeah. All right.
So for the Vikings season. So you had predicted that the Vikings would go 11-5.
Oh, yep. I'm a good prognosticator.
My prediction was 7-9.
Hey. That sounds pretty familiar.
Yeah.
I do believe they were 7-9, right?
They were. I didn't call every game. There were a couple I got wrong, but they canceled each other, and so ended up at 7-9.
So are you more realistic than optimistic Joe?
Probably. So anyway, I thought we should close the circle on that and sort of look back and see.
Guess you win the dollar.
Yay. I'd rather have a Vikings Super Bowl championship to talk about, all right. So maybe last thing, you want to talk about the Wild at all?
No.
another team you can't watch
another team I can't watch. And obviously the Wild are a much better team than Timberwolves.
Yeah. I mean, look, there's wins here, that you can look back and see. They do occasionally win a game.
They've lost 2 in a row, though, which is unfortunate.
Yeah. The one against the Kings was really too bad.
Their power play really needs some help. But you know what? You have Brad Hunt on your team. Put him on the power play. He's a power play specialist. Why is he not on the power play? What are you doing?
Yeah.
Don't overthink it. Put him on the power play.
It is kind of weird.
Especially when it's not doing very well.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
It'd be one thing if they were scoring goals.
If they were succeeding and actually, scoring goals on power plays, then okay, fine. It's not working. Don't mess with it.
It just seems like a really easy fix. I don't know.
Yeah. Man, if only we had somebody on our roster who was really good on the power play.
Yeah.
Well, look, anyway, so this week they have several games coming up. 4 games this week. And by week, I mean from Wednesday to Wednesday. There's one tomorrow.
Which they should beat the Kings. They're a better team than the Kings.
Yeah. And they've already beaten them twice. So, and then they have 4 games in a row against
the Avalanche,
Colorado. Yeah.
Which is crazy because Colorado's really good.
Yeah.
And they're kind of a rival for the
Big
Wild.
time.
So
Yep,
it's kind of
yep.
fun.
Because I
do
remember
like this
back like
college style games here.
yeah. Because it was like I don't know, it's been like maybe 10 years now, 15 years, but for a while it was always the Avalanche versus the Wild in the playoffs. You know, and it'd always be a big,
Huge game
contest.
7 win by the Wild.
What was that? Maybe like 2005, 2008? I don't really remember what.
I don't remember either.
Years.
But yeah, they came back. They were down a goal every game, and they just kept coming back, kept coming back. Won it 5-4. It was great. Niederreiter, top shelf, awesome.
So, look, the Wild are pretty fun to watch. I've watched again. A lot of these games are like super late for me. Yeah, well, you can see here like 9. Well, 8's not so bad.
Well, they play in so unless they're playing in Minnesota, and they haven't played.
They're all West Coast games, so
they haven't played St. Louis yet, which is in the Central. Everything, otherwise it's Mountain or Pacific time.
Yep. So a lot of these are like 10 p.m. starts, which is like
so
really
literally
late.
like what 45% of the schedule is late games.
Yeah, about half.
Because half would be at home, which is Central time, and then a couple games in St. Louis.
That's right. Yep. I think sometime in April there's an afternoon game. Like that's the only one that's like not a 9 p.m. start for me.
Well, and you're even an hour. If it's in the Central, it's still 8 o'clock for you.
That's right. Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Which I wouldn't say was early.
That's right. Yep. But look, the Wild, they win. The games are competitive. They're pretty fun to watch.
Yeah, that's the one thing about hockey. It's usually a close game.
And okay. Any sort of college? I guess the Gophers haven't.
Gophers are really good hockey. They got really good basketball. They kind of put up a stinker.
Yeah.
Last game out. Don't look for that to continue. That's what I got.
Okay. Any upcoming games that are of interest?
Yeah, that was against Maryland, that last one. I think they got some they had one, and it was kind of a bad setup. They had the Nebraska game canceled, so they didn't play for like 8 days, and that's kind of hard. So,
I see. Yep.
And it was a letdown game, and they let it down. It's kind of a, Jekyll and Hyde team. They either destroy the team at home or they kind of get blown out. So I don't know. It's weird.
Okay. Are you ready for trivia?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is kind of a multi-part one. So there's one sport that's really weird. It not only allows but encourages the participants to eat snacks during the contest. What sport is this?
I feel like I'm missing something obvious here. It seems like whenever I go to a game, there's always snacks to eat.
No, I'm talking about the participants, not the fans.
Oh, yeah. Well, they do that in baseball, probably tennis. I mean, they eat a lot of, power snacks or bananas in tennis. Golf, you see people eating during that, participating. What am I missing?
So I was thinking baseball. So this is baseball. Like they're literally eating snacks like during the game, like while they're playing. There's like chewing sunflower seeds,
Yeah.
Like while they're running around the bases or they're standing in the outfield, they're literally eating snacks like while they are playing the game. It's crazy. Yeah. If you think about it, like you don't see basketball players chewing on stuff while they're running up and down the court, bouncing the ball,
football,
right?
Same
like
thing.
It's so weird. Like if you think about it, it's so weird. So my trivia question for you is, how many bags of sunflower seeds does Major League Baseball go through in a season?
Now, are we talking these little bags, or are you talking like the big bag that the little bags come in?
Like the regular size bags of seeds.
All right. So I'm going to say they have one per player per game. So that would be, let's just go with 25, easy number. And then there's 162. I'm going to get my calculator.
Divided by 4. 16 divided by 4 is pretty easy, right? It's 4.
Okay. So we got 25 here times 162 times how many teams? 30?
Yep.
4,860. That doesn't seem right. That seems too low. Oh, it didn't get the 30 in there. 121,500 bags.
That's much too low.
Oh, really? Oh, do I have to double that? 250,000 bags.
Triple it. They go through 300,000 bags of seeds per year. That's just Major League Baseball. That's not minor leagues. That's the Major Leagues.
Hey,
They go through
I have a sunflower field.
They go through 60 bags of sunflower seeds per team per game. And the crazy thing is,
how many sunflower seeds those bullpen players eating?
Yeah, exactly. So apparently the history of the sunflower seed is, I think everybody could guess it's sort of a replacement for tobacco, right? Like that's kind of where it started. But people realized that, like, well, in addition to that, there's a lot of protein in these seeds, and so
vitamin E and salt. So
that's right. The salt is the second key thing that the players like about it because, it helps you during a hot, game. And so it's kind of just made it into a perfect snack for, people
plus
playing
tasty
summer sports, and they're fun and they're addictive. Right.
Yeah.
And it's amazing that like they go through that many bags. And actually the National Sunflower Association or something like that, there's a trade group specifically for sunflowers, and they're based in North Dakota.
Makes sense.
I think Wahpeton, North Dakota, or something bizarre. Anyway,
how in the world did you think of this trivia question? I'm impressed.
Well, it just struck me like one day this week I was watching The Wild, and I'm like, oh yeah, they don't eat or chew anything.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm like, and that's also true of football, and it's also true of basketball, and it's like also true of these other sports. Baseball is the weird one.
Yeah.
I'm like, I've never seen a golfer eat a snack. But I guess
you're
saying
not during his shot, but he eats it in between.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, that's what I mean. Like literally while they're playing the sport, are they eating? Yeah. No, the only answer here is baseball. Like, because like football players at halftime, they go in and I'm sure they eat snacks, right?
Yeah.
And the baseball players when they're in the dugout.
I mean, Marshawn Lynch has his Skittles.
But yeah, so anyway, I just thought it was a crazy number. 300,000 bags of sunflower seeds.
That's insane. Wow. Should buy some stock in sunflower.
Anyway. All right, Joe, that's all I have.
Awesome. Hey, I got a little shout out for those people that want to start seeds. Go ahead anytime. Start some seeds for your gardens in the north. Mine will be coming here in about a week or so. I'm going to start it, make a video, shout it out to you. So,
okay.
Sounds good. So anyways, remember, have a great week out there, guys. Remember to be kind to one another, grow your own food, and John 3:16.